Hi, my name is Amy, and my husband Joel and I bought a house in Sicily, in Italy. When we bought the house, we originally started looking at €1 homes, and we knew that was not for us. But we bought a house, and we knew when we bought it that it needed renovations, but we didn't quite understand how many renovations it would need. When we bought it, we thought it was just going to be like cosmetic renovations, just like, new plaster, new paint, that sort of a thing. And it turned out to be so much more than that. It turned out that the electricity in our home was out of date, needed to be updated. We needed to replace the plumbing. We needed to replace our water tanks because the ones that we had had asbestos in them, because that's the time that they were put into the house, was when that was thought to be okay. We ended up having to replace all of our windows and doors. We didn't have to replace all of them, but we chose to. And there were just so many more things than we thought. We actually had thought we were going to stay in the house, but the renovations had just begun and we were unable to stay in the house at the time. So that meant that the purpose of our trip needed to change as well. We ended up staying in some towns that were outside of the town where we have our home, and it allowed us to see a little bit more of Sicily than we had planned on, and it allowed us to fall in love with some other places. But something notable about that trip also was that every time that we would come back into our town from somewhere else, there was kind of like a wave of relief, and it made us feel like we belonged there, or like it was like home. And it felt, I don't know, maybe not as stressful as some of the other places. It was just kind of like relief when we got back into town. So that was kind of a good sign for us. We didn't even know at the time that we were going to be trying to move there, but it was a really good sign for us that this town felt kind of like home for us. Come inside the house with us and take a look at what the early renovation stages looked like. At this point, they had replaced the electricity on the top floor, and I think maybe had started it on some of the other floors. In this video, it's going from the top floor down through the other floors. So this is the room that would become the primary bedroom and bathroom. This stairwell was completely unfinished. It had just bare cement walls. The steps were uneven. When you get to the bottom of the steps, you'll see there was like a set of wooden steps just set against the wall to access this stairwell. This is hands down the best transformation in the house. It just looks like a completely different situation after renovations. This middle floor is sort of the main living space. It's going to act as this room here will be the dining room, and this room the living room. It had a long way to go at this point. We decided to make the bottom floor in the front the kitchen, and the room in the back into a guest room, because it has a full bathroom off of the room in the back of the house, and we didn't want to keep the kitchen in the back and have a full bathroom off of that. Plus, it kind of solves the problem of rooms within rooms to get to certain places. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Please hit subscribe so you don't miss our next video.